Hello people that in that house are doing. So this might take a few minutes to explain. So why I titled this video defeatist to positivity, I suppose. And that's probably going to be the title. And long story short, when I was younger, this is actually only 4 years ago most, 4 or 5 years ago most. I might just say straight, I was very negative, very defeatist, if that makes any sense. If that's even a word, defeatist. Not an English teacher, as you know. But I was very defeatist, obviously, with my mental health problems, and at the time I wasn't in a good mental health space, and I have to admit it. I was very, very negative on myself, very, very harsh. Like, still to this day, I'm very, very harsh on myself, with different things. But and again, just what I have to say, this is long story short before I say anything else. I talk about it for a few minutes, but long story short, don't be hard on yourself. Be nice to yourself. Be mindful of yourself. Treat yourself with respect. Don't treat yourself like it's a machine. Every human is not a machine. And eventually, the mind can't deal with so much. The mind can only deal with a certain amount at one time. That's something, that should be taken out of this video, that, you shouldn't push yourself forward. You should cruise forward. And what I mean by cruise forward, go with the drift. Go with the drift. Don't push forward. Drift forward, if that makes any sense. So, take it easy, in other words. Take it, something like that. But anyway, I might be making a mess of this video. But yeah, I was very, very defeatist, if that's even a word. Defeated. So everything I done, I was always like, oh, I can't do that. I'm too stupid. Like, that's the atmosphere I was in. Back. That's not today. This is not long ago. And people will remember. People in my class and people in my school will remember me being very defeatist. Especially going into the end of first year, when I was in first year. After December, very, very defeatist after that. Very negative on myself. Looked at myself in a very, 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 very dark manner, very negative manner. To be honest, I had no respect for myself, and I might as well be honest. I might as well say straight. At the time, I didn't give a damn, about myself, and I might as well be honest. I cared about other people around me, I cared about my friends, and obviously about everybody else around me. But I didn't have any, I didn't really care about myself. And that's something I just say to people, you have to care for yourself too. Because if you have to mind yourself too, above all else, you have to mind yourself and look after yourself. But yeah, I was very, very defeated. Like projects, exams, things like that, I always was defeated. Always, knocking me down. I suppose I was always knocking myself down, with them. I always knock myself down, saying, I can't do this, I'm stupid, I'm no good to society, things like that. That's what I used to say. This is the crack I used to go on about. But at the time, I wasn't well, and that's something that I have to admit. And obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say, I was well, because I wasn't well. I might as well say it's true. I'm not going to say the opposite. And that's straight from the horse's mouth. I obviously wasn't very well at the time, because I'm very different. And being in that negative mindset, I'm sure people would even remember, people would even know if they're in that mindset even for a week. You feel very alone, you feel very dark, you feel like the whole world's against you. But it really isn't. But your mind kind of makes you think like that. And as they say, your mind is the most powerful weapon in the world. No matter if a nuclear bomb, your mind can destroy you from the inside. Your conscience can destroy you. And that's something, with me, my mind, probably did, how would I put it? My mind did kind of change me, I suppose that's the word. And that it hasn't destroyed me, but it has changed me a lot. Trying to control my mind and trying to control, the negativity. Because I was a very, very negative person for a long, long time. When I was in depression, obviously, and then everything else, it was very, very negative. And obviously that's understandable. I was depressed, and obviously that's very understandable. But I could see it, and now when I'm talking about it, I can see really in my head, when it started, and I can see it going down and going down and going down the hill. It's like when you put a lever on it, and the lever goes a bit forward, like say a train. You put the train lever on, and it just keeps sliding down the track, keeps going slowly down the track. And eventually, there's not going to be any track left. And that's what happened with me. And I'm always saying to people, believe in yourself. And that's one thing I just say to people: believe in yourself above anything else. Believe in yourself. Respect yourself. Um, because you have to look after number one first, and you have to look after yourself. And obviously, I was saying to people, never be in that mindset, that you can't do this. And it's the same with me now, really. I always say, it's the opposite. Before that, I was saying I can't do it. I'm dyslexic. I'm stupid. People, I'm stupid. I should have been shot at birth and things like that. That's the kind of thing I said, 4 years ago. But now it would be like, and if anybody said, give this a try, give that a try, you know what I say to them? I say, I do it. I give it a try. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If it does work out, all the best. And that's the kind of attitude you should have with anything you come up against in life. Give it a try. If it's a new job, give it a shot. See how it goes. Could be the best thing you ever did. Because you never know until you try, and that's one thing my father taught me. You never know until you try something. You never know what you like. It's the same with food. If you don't try food out, you're never gonna know what you like, what you dislike. It's the same with everything. But it was very dark place at that time. But I'm just saying to people, try. It's hard. I know it took me a long time to get out of that negative attitude. And then the other thing, I might be honest, I'm not. I might just say it bluntly. Because I'm not gonna cover it up and say nothing happened. Obviously at the time. And probably now I'm finally really admitting it to myself. At the time, obviously, I felt very alone. It sounds extremely stupid for me, something like that. But again, nothing stupid in this world. The only thing that's stupid is somebody not saying it straight what's happening and what they feel inside. You should say it out and shouldn't be afraid to talk about how you feel and how you felt back then. And that's something I learned a lot, and that's something that's really changed me as a person. But yeah, at the time, everybody was getting into relationships and this, that, and the other, and everybody knows where this is going. But anyway, still now you can see this now. I still, above all else, I can laugh at myself back then. Look at, how stupid I was. But again, you learned a lot. I learned a lot of lessons, and that's the thing, and that's something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. The lessons I learned there will stick with me forever and ever. Which is great. It's always good to learn a lesson and you improve yourself. It's always good to improve yourself for tomorrow. But yeah, everybody was getting into relationships back at this time, and obviously it was difficult because obviously with my acne, and that's another thing too, my acne, you can see my face, it's with the sweat too, because of the hot weather. And obviously I'm wearing huge, heavy clothing because, it's obviously required, and heavy boots and everything like that. You sweat like, I don't know, like you sweat like the Mississippi River, to be honest, let's be honest. Because it's just it was so hot in this time. But yeah, just with the acne, for a long time I put myself down as a freak, as never going to get anywhere in life looking like that, as just a pure ugly little poor, that's the word I probably would describe myself, and that's what probably I would have said when I was younger. And even hid my face for a long time, even in 6th class before I went to secondary school. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed of my face. And again, that just shows you the starting point and then the eventual collapse. But, it's a big change now. And that's the thing, it's a big change now. I can see myself now change. I can see myself, on a different track. And, that whole track is teared down and abandoned now. But there's a new vibrant track. Brand new and, brand top of the range, if that makes any sense. But just to say, it's a new track and it's a new dawn, and that's the thing. But yeah, again, going back to that point, because I keep going away, I keep thinking of something else that I felt back then. Because see, I never write anything down. So I could say anything about myself. I could say anything because I can't remember. Everything I said, and obviously probably sometimes I go over things. And then there's probably things I just remember, like as I said, I can't remember. 10 minutes ago probably would have said something, but then I just remember it there. It's funny how the mind works sometimes, but yeah, but as we're going back to relationships, obviously with my acne and everything, like long story short, You felt like you never would get somebody, you never would meet somebody, you never would, be friends, more than friends with somebody. But anyway, teenage life. But yeah, that's now I just laugh at myself, like, because recently, obviously didn't go to the best of my ability. That but obviously it's hard to talk about. It's hard to talk about something that that's happened not too long ago. This happened in February. Something this wouldn't talk about, but anyway, I'm not going to say much more about it because I don't really want to talk about it, because it's upsetting. I will not lie to people, it is upsetting for me to talk about that bit. But yeah, as I always say to people, we live and we learn. But the one thing I want the people to take out, and this is that if you can take anything out of me dictating for the last 2 years on this channel, please always respect yourself. Above all else, respect yourself. Look after yourself. Second of all, mind yourself. It's same thing, but same thing. But I never get into that negative attitude. Always believe in yourself. Always trust yourself to do the right thing. And above all else, have faith in yourself. Have faith that you can do something. Because you can. Because you can. Of course you can. And it goes back to what I take now. If there's a will, there's a way. If there's a power in you, as I say now, that driving force that pushed me out of that negative mindset. It was difficult. It took a huge fight to push me out of that negative aspect. But we got there. It took time. We got there. But yeah, I just say to people, always believe in yourself. Above all else, don't be negative with yourself. Don't be harsh with yourself. Still to this day, I'm harsh with myself on a few things. But respect yourself, and never go into a negative mindset, and never be afraid to say, like as I said straight out there. I said it straight at the time. It sounds stupid me talking about it. But at the end of the day, you don't hide it. If you felt that way, say it straight. And to hell what Mickey Joe on the road thinks of you with his with his shotgun or whatever. You're yourself, and that's all that matters. And what you felt at the time, and you speak about it. You're entitled to speak. And you're entitled to help other people, and please God, it does help other people. It's in the negative aspect, mindset aspect, same thing. Both fancy words. But yeah, just trust yourself, and believe me, it might seem like it never end in that negative mind space you're in, but trust me, everything takes time, and believe me, before you know it, you'll be out of it. But it goes back to my last point, and this is what one person taught me, that she spoke, and she was from Cavan. She spoke on Facebook about she was sharing her suicide experience and how she tried to commit suicide and everything like that. And I have to take my hat off though, because she was very, very brave speaking out. Now I experienced something like that girl. Being alone, and everything she said, the same thing happened to me. I could go on about everything she said that happened to me. But I admire her, because the first time, even when I spoke out first for my suicide experience and mental health experience, I mental health problems, things like that experience. I don't know if that's the right kind of pronunciation of it, but yeah, it's hard to speak. The first time is always harder, because I remember being in tears, talking about it, and it was so heartbreaking to talk about it and to admit it. And it's a huge change now, that and what somebody said to me, as that girl said to me, and it hasn't said to me, but said in the video, sorry. You own what happens. What happened, it happened. You learn. You can help others. That's something, that, they don't write in OT. They don't write that in OT. But that's something that should be, listened to. And the last thing she said, and I say this straight, and I quote her: always surround yourself with good people, because people will help you get through it. Good people will help you get through it. People who care, people who want to help you, they are the people you need to know. The people who cause trouble and harm and senseless anger and frustration across the world, they're not worth knowing. The people who are good-hearted, care and love you are worth knowing. And surround yourself with good people. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening, and bye.